Hello. For many years, myself and many other debunkers have been producing videos destroying the flat earth theory. I even sent up a balloon, Mage 2, to view the curve of the earth. No matter what we do, they still keep on claiming the earth is flat. Now, Mr. Will Duffy came up with another idea. He's called it the final experiment. Now, the final experiment will consist of a number of people going to Union Glacier Camp in Antarctica in December and viewing the 24-hour sun. The 24-hour sun that couldn't happen on a flat earth. The 24-hour sun that absolutely must happen if the earth is a globe. One of those people invited has been offered a free place on a trip to Antarctica that's worth about $30,000. Mr. Nathan Oakley. Unfortunately, he's backed down.
If Earth's spheres are begging the question fallacy. That's the thing you're trying to prove. Don't start by assuming the very thing you're trying to prove.
Nathan, the final experiment is not a begging the question fallacy. It's scientific. Either the Earth is a globe or the Earth is flat. Those are the two competing theories. What the final experiment will do is rule one out. If the Earth was a globe and the sun does set in December in Antarctica, then the globe idea cannot be right. Flat Earth wins. However, if the sun doesn't set in December in Antarctica, that rules out the flat Earth.
The argument is an assumption of a globe Earth in the first instance, stacked up in a false dichotomy against a flat Earth, also a globe projection. They want the azimuthal equidistant globe projection for some reason.
You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
It's masking the if P then Q, Q therefore P, affirming the consequent. If Earth's a sphere by assumption, I'll see a 24-hour sun. 24-hour sun, therefore my globe assumption.
Nathan, apparently you can't logic. Science doesn't prove. When you have an idea, you try and disprove it. What you're talking about is modus ponens. If P then Q, Q therefore P. If the Earth is a globe, then we'll have 24-hour sun in the Antarctic. We have 24-hour sun in the Antarctic, therefore Earth is a globe. That is not what the final experiment is. It's modus tollens. If P then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If the Earth is a globe, we'll have 24-hour sun in the Antarctic. If we don't have 24-hour sun in the Antarctic, Earth is not a globe. So what are you afraid of, Mr. Oakley? You can go on an all-expenses-paid trip to Antarctica, film the sun going below the horizon for a few minutes, and then you will have destroyed the globe. Your name will go down in history. Something other than being a total twat waffle.
How dumb people are is how quickly they recognise that antipodal assumption that's needed for this quasi-experiment. Actually fraud. It's not an experiment, it's fraud.
Careful, princess. That's sounding like slander.
Now, not only have I said I don't want to go with him, I've called him a fraud. Because he is. He's saying he's got an experiment. No, you're a fraud. You want to know why I won't go down to Antarctica? Interview me about him. Because I don't associate with frauds. Why is he a fraud? He said he's got an experiment.
Let's have a little look at what fraud is, Nathan. Fraud Act 2006. A person is in breach of this section if he dishonestly makes a false representation and intends, by making a representation, to make a gain for himself or another, or to cause loss to another, or to expose another to a risk of loss. A representation is false if it is untrue or misleading and the person making it knows that it is or might be untrue or misleading. Representation means any representation as to fact or law. A representation may be express or implied. For the purposes of this section, a representation may be regarded as made if it, or anything implying it, is submitted in any form to any system or device designed to receive, convey or respond to communications, such as a YouTube video. For Mr. Duffy to be charged with this crime, there's a number of points to prove. Let's have a look again at that definition of fraud. So do we have enough to charge Mr. Duffy with fraud? Let's start at the bottom, number 5. Has he made a representation via any form of communication? Yes, he has. He's put out quite a few YouTube videos. So that point is proven. Number 4, has he made any form of representation? Well, you could certainly say he's implied that the Earth is a globe. He's implied that the Earth is not flat. You could say that he was express. But either way, we can give you that as a point to prove he has made a representation. Number 3 is a given as well, because he has made these representations, whether express or implied. So that's 3 out of the 5 so far. You're doing well, Nathan. Number 2, the representation must be false. And it's false, so it's untrue or misleading. And if he knows that it is, well, it is possible that the representation is false, that the Earth is not a globe. It is possible that the truth is that it's flat. But Mr. Duffy must know that it is untrue or misleading. You've not evidenced that at all. And last but not least, number 1, a person is in breach if he dishonestly makes false representation and intends to make a gain for himself or cause loss to another. Well, first of all, you haven't demonstrated that his representation is false. Now, he is, I guess, going to make a gain for himself with regard to YouTube ad revenue. He's not going to cause a loss to you, though, is he, Nathan? Because your trip is free. So basically, out of the 5 points to prove to show that Mr. Duffy has carried out fraud, you can't cover number 1 and 2. Therefore, he can't be charged with fraud. So rather than grasping this opportunity of a lifetime to travel to Antarctica for free, you decide to sling accusations around to try and cover your arse. Well, you're accusing him of fraud. Let's have a look at you, Mr. Oakley. So again, in reverse order, has Mr. Oakley made any representations submitted via any form? Yes, he has. He's made numerous YouTube videos. Number 4, are those representations expressed or implied? Yes, both. He's both said that the Earth is not a globe. He's implied it. He's expressed that the Earth is measured flat. He's implied that it's a flat Earth. That's number 4 done. And number 3, Mr. Oakley's made numerous representations of data that he's claimed as facts. So that's 5, 4 and 3 are all proven. Number 2, are his representations false? Well, I would posit that claiming that the Earth is flat, that it is not a globe, is false. So I would say 2A is shown. We'll come back to 2B. Number 1, he's in breach if he dishonestly makes his false representations and intends to make a gain for himself. Well, I would say that Mr. Oakley is dishonest, and he's carrying out this dishonesty in order to gain YouTube views and ad revenue. So the last thing we need to cover is 2B. Does he know that it's untrue or misleading? Well, let's have a look back to some comments that were made on a Discord server a few years ago by yourself, Nathan, when you were working with Mr. Anthony Riley debating Flat Earth against someone. Nathan: stop! Don't talk about the light from the lighthouse. It's a trap. I understand the trap now. Big trap. Anthony Riley: go on. Nathan Oakley: the lighthouse projection is 21 miles from the lighthouse, so it's 10 miles away, not 31, so it proves the bulge. The light is focused 21 miles out to sea. Riley: not understanding. Ah, I see. So it's a question of, does the light come to the eye or does the eye see the light? Oakley: no, the light it produces is 10 miles from you at a height of 220 feet. Perfect globe proof. 2B. The person making it knows that it is or might be untrue or misleading. Nathan Oakley: I'd be very careful about casting aspersions against Mr. Duffy, saying that he's a fraudster. If I was you, be back to the final experiment. You have been offered this all expenses paid trip to Antarctica. I want you to go. I want you to take advantage of that. I want you to film the sun. Of course, if the sun sets, then you have shown that the Earth cannot be a globe. That will be a big win for you. You're obviously not attracted enough with the trip just being free, so I'm going to make you an offer. In fact, I'm going to make you 2 offers. If you go on the trip and do this filming, I will transfer to you £1,000. When you confirm you're going, I'll put £1,000 in escrow for you. If, additionally, you do the filming of the sun and it sets, I will close my channel. So are you going to do it, Nathan? Or are you going to be a pussy-ass bitch who just hides in your echo chamber behind a mute button? What do you think, Professor?
Nathan Oakley, you are a total. A word is yet to be invented to describe how totally whatever it is you are. But you are one. And a total one at that.
Until next time, stay sensible.